My name's Kim Morton, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director of Student Engagement and Inclusion at the University of Alaska Anchorage. And I'm super excited to have with me today Diana Arthur, who serves as the Director of Development and Communications for Beans Cafe and the Children's Lunchbox, which is who we are raising money for today. So Diana is actually joining us from Arizona, where she currently resides after living in Anchorage for 26 years. So we'll talk to her a little bit more about Arizona if we get to it a little later. So we are super excited to be spending 24 hours today doing this charity stream and raising money for the Children's Lunchbox. And just to update you, our goal is $2,500 in 24 hours. And we have already, after 5 hours and 10 minutes, have already raised $1,710 for the Children's Lunchbox, which is so amazing. So maybe we're going to go past that $2,500 goal. But I would love to start with just a little bit about the Children's Lunchbox and, you know, who you are, what you do, and how you serve the Anchorage community.
Absolutely. And thank you guys so much. This is absolutely amazing for us. And we feel very honored and very privileged to be a part of this. And yeah, wow, you guys have already done an amazing job in 5 hours. That's fabulous. So yes, the Children's Lunchbox, we are a program of Beans Cafe, and we are originally, when we started the program, our primary focus was just on children, as the name would tell you. And we were focused on weekend food that we were sending home with children on the weekends out of the school system. And this thing that we all know is COVID-19 rolled into our realm, and we realized that we kind of needed to change our model with schools being shut down. Just because kids weren't in class didn't mean that that the hunger factor went away. Because honestly, what from the statistics and studies are showing that there's 1 in 6 children in the Anchorage area that are facing hunger and food insecurity, which we realize extends also to families, because chances are the child is hungry, the parents are also hungry, and making really tough decisions about how do we spend our money. We need to pay rent or we need to feed our children. And as the sad reality is that oftentimes you can't skip paying your rent or your mortgage without major issues. So anyway, we realized that we needed to change our business model a little bit. And our big focus now is through the Children's Lunchbox Pantry Pack program. And then we also have a fresh meal program. And that is where you guys, through this live stream event, are going to help us immensely. We can tell you without a doubt that every dollar that is raised that comes to the Children's Lunchbox is going to be used for pantry packs, not just for children, but entire families. And these pantry packs are a cool concept because we are actually distributing those all over Anchorage through meal distribution sites. And families can show up. Oftentimes it's, you know, one individual from a family will show up and pick up pantry packs in multiples and take those home. Those pantry packs signify one meal for a family of 4. So families are able to take multiples. So not everybody has just a nice, neat bundle of 4 in their family. So they're able to take multiples, but basically it is providing them a certain meal, not having to question where their next meal is coming from, and they're able to take those home in multiples. And we're doing that several times a week. These are no cost to individuals that come to the meal distribution sites. We are all about dignity and respect, and we do not ask questions. This is no questions asked. So families can show up, take these pantry packs, and know that they're going to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and enough to feed their entire family. The nice thing about these pantry packs too is that they are shelf stable, which basically means they're non-perishable. So people can put those on a shelf and have them for the next meal, not worry about spoiling, worrying about freezer and fridge space.
Yeah.
We're working with approximately 200 to 300 families a week, and they are coming through on a consistent basis. We have got 14 locations right now where we're distributing these pantry packs. The cool thing is, before we were focused just on schools. Well, now it's not only schools, but it's churches, it's housing complexes. We're working with apartment managers who are placing orders in advance for their residents and are able to get doorstep service for their pantry packs. So our reach has honestly expanded, and because we're feeding entire families now, not just children, and we've expanded so far beyond just what we were doing within the school system. But it's, again, the important thing I think for all of you to know is that every dollar that you donate is going directly towards the purchase of food for these pantry packs that we are assembling on our end. And to put it a little more in perspective, the pantry packs are about $10 each. So $10, and you're basically providing a family of 4 one meal. So not too bad.
No, that is amazing. And so far we have raised enough money for 170 of these pantry packs, which is awesome. Can you give an example of like what's in some of the pantry packs that families are able to get?
Yeah, they're fun. I actually pulled my little cheat sheet here because we've come up with some really cool ideas for the different types. For example, a breakfast pantry pack. We encourage in the individual cereal cups, fruit cups, or dried fruit or canned fruit, hot chocolate, shelf stable milk. That is a thing.
Yeah.
And we go through a lot of it, but we're also learning it's hard to come by. A lot of our donors will say, darn it, we were trying to find you shelf stable milk at Costco and they don't have any right now. But that's where the donation of the dollars actually will allow us to purchase it elsewhere, where we're able to get it. And then granola bars. So that's a nice, good, solid breakfast for a family. Other ones have oatmeal with the fruit cups and things like that. We do lunch and dinner, which honestly I think are interchangeable, but things for lunch are 2 cans of soup or stew, crackers, dried fruit, fruit cups, canned fruit, again, granola bars, tuna fish. That's a huge one. Dinners, which are always my favorite. We've come up with one that's a chicken taco soup. So it's a box of chicken broth, it's a can of beans, it's a packet of taco seasoning, a can of corn, a can of diced tomatoes, a can of chicken, chips or crackers, and fruit. So it's all items that are non-perishable, and you can interchange them between lunch and dinner. So yeah, and we encourage people, if they decide that they want to put together some pantry packs, they're more than welcome to do that. And we have a whole little handout that we give to individuals that want to do that at home. But for the most part, we just focus on the dollars and the actual food items, and then we go ahead and do everything on our end.
That is amazing. And I'm so happy to hear how many families are being served in the Anchorage community. So keep those donations coming in. We're benefiting the Children's Lunchbox today in these 24 hours. And as Diana has said, $10 serves a family of 4. So any donations are so meaningful to everyone in the Anchorage community, and especially with all that we're facing as we are continuing to navigate COVID. So I'm so happy to hear all of that. So when with these pantry packs, who puts them together?
We do, our staff does. So we have an amazing food services team, and as food donations and monetary donations come in, we have a whole food services and logistics team that handles all of our food orders, We have some of our team members that will go and pick up Costco orders, whatever it looks like. And we have a whole slew of employees that are actually putting those together on the back end. We were for a while encouraging volunteers to do those for us. We've kind of gotten to the point now where we've got a good solid supply. And so we're assembling them as we need them. Storage is always a hot commodity. So,
Yes.
so the more we get, it's okay, hold on, we got to get rid of these and then we'll start assembling more. And so the big push, like I said, is on funds and food. I wanted to mention too, just for some perspective, system-wide, through Beans Cafe and the Children's Lunchbox, we have served 1.3 million meals to individuals in Anchorage, and that has been over the last year.
Wow.
And that's huge.
That's huge.
I think we tell people, and we do track where all of our meals are going, the number of meals. And I think a lot of people are shocked that there is sadly the ability to put out that many meals easily.
Yes.
Because I think it's easy to lose perspective because most of us aren't worried about where our next meal is coming from necessarily, to realize that there's a lot of, hungry, homeless, food insecure individuals in our community. And we're working actively to make sure that all of these individuals are fed.
That's just so amazing. And I'm so happy to hear that. I know since I've been at UAA, we've had the opportunity to take students to Beans Cafe and volunteer. And it's been such an amazing experience. It's such an amazing place. And so I'm curious if you all are currently taking volunteers. I know some of that was stopped with COVID, and would love to hear if students, faculty, staff have the opportunity to continue to volunteer at Beans or the Children's Lunchbox.
So unbeknownst to many, the Beans Cafe building that is on 3rd Avenue and has been there for over 40 years, we have sold that building. So all of our meal production right now is done at our Children's Lunchbox kitchen.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and also, which is our administration building on 4th Avenue. But we have a huge commercial kitchen. We have also purchased another building on 6th Avenue that we will be moving all of our Beans Cafe meal production to. That is kind of a long-term investment. There is talk of a cafe going in that the general public can go to, that we will actually provide the food for. Partnerships with the library, perhaps them doing a boutique library in that building. So there's a longer-term plan, but we're going to be assembling and cooking and doing all of the Beans Cafe meal production out of that building for a while. Fast forward to super exciting. We have a warehouse that we own that we've been leasing to another business for a very, very long time. We are now that individual business has left, and we are taking over that warehouse down near Ship Creek.
Oh, cool.
And we are refurbishing that warehouse, and that is going to become our huge meal production facility for Beans and also our food storage. Our business model has changed in that there is not going to be an actual soup kitchen any longer. We've learned that this mobile food distribution model is working so well, and we're able to reach more people. So like with Beans Cafe right now, we are feeding everybody that's in the mass emergency shelter at Sullivan Arena. We've got, I think, 9 different locations that we are providing meals to on the Beans Cafe side, in addition to the 14 where we're doing fresh meals and pantry packs for Children's Lunchbox. And we have the ability to be distributing and mass producing these meals. So kind of gone are the days of the congregate meal settings. I can see at some point, once we're established in our new facility, that there will be opportunities for volunteering there. Children's Lunchbox right now, we've kind of halted. Like I said, storage is a hot commodity right now. So we had to halt volunteers and instead do everything on our end. But we're encouraging people to stay in touch, keep asking, watch our website, watch Facebook, because we'll put out a big blast when we're ready for volunteers again. So
Awesome. Yes, I think people will be very excited to be able to get back into the community. I think lots of people have such a close relationship and appreciation for what Beans Cafe does for the Anchorage community. So that is super amazing. Let's transition in our last few minutes. I think it's so fun and interesting that you live in Arizona now, but still represent and work for Beans Cafe, the children's lunchbox. And so it really speaks to what our world has transitioned to because of COVID. And so tell us about what it's like working in Arizona, but working for an Anchorage nonprofit organization.
yeah, I think what I want everybody to know is that I lived in Anchorage for over 26 years. It's my home. I feel like I grew up there. And I was honestly thinking that I was probably going to have to leave the organization. And there were literal tears when I talked to our CEO and told her that I was moving to Arizona, because I thought it was going to be, oh, we're so sad. And I was shocked when she said, you of all people need to, number one, stay on, and number two, are more than capable of doing this remote, which I think spoke volumes, because number one, I am so committed to our mission. I'm so committed to Anchorage. Anchorage is still home. So I think it's just important for people to know that this is still so much a passion, and I am so grateful every single day that I can still do the great work. No lie, it's challenging. I miss my coworkers. I miss the face-to-face. All our meetings are now done on Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been without its challenges, but I do go back to Alaska twice a year. I was just there in January. And so it's definitely been challenging, but I am still very engaged, and it's still very much a big my heart, and I am incredibly grateful to be able to continue the work from here. I do a lot of grant writing, so I'm my focus is how can we get money in the door, because without money we're not able to purchase food, we're not able to continue feeding the mass quantities of people that we do. So fortunately I can do that from afar. And as I said earlier, it's supposed to be 94 here today. We're supposed to break the record. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not quite ready for those temperatures yet.
Well, I was going to say, how are you transitioning to that dry heat in Arizona?
Yeah, it's what I think is funny is summer here is like winter in Alaska. A lot of people just stay inside their cozy little homes. Here, people stay inside their air-conditioned homes.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's because, boy, that even though it's a dry heat, I got here last July, and it was 115. We had a little bit of humidity, and no lie, that was tough, and a lot of time in the pool.
Definitely. Well, as we wrap up, is there anything else that you want us to know about Beans Cafe and the Children's Lunchbox?
Really, I just want to thank you guys again. We are so grateful. And as I mentioned before, I think it's just important to know that every dollar that you guys raise is going directly to feeding these children and families. And you can say with confidence, when you're giving that $10 or whatever you're able to give, that is directly building a pantry pack for a family. So
that is amazing. So keep those $10 and more donations coming in. I think we're still sitting at $1,710, which is amazing. And we just look forward to telling you how much we are able to raise in this 24 hours. And thank you so much for coming on today, and for everything you do for the Anchorage community.
Thank you guys again. We're so grateful.
All right. Thank you. Well, we're going to take a little break as we transition to the next. I will be on with Dr. Bruce Schultz, our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, here in a few minutes. So keep those donations coming in.